Namaste children, welcome to today's English class. We come across so many people in this society, isn't it? We depend on them in our day-to-day life. Our day starts with a cup of coffee, tea or milk. We depend on milkman, then the newspaper boy, and if there is any sort of any repair work in the house like plumber, like any tap leakage, then we call a plumber. Then any electricity problem we'll call electrician. And we take their services, isn't it children? We must respect their services. We must respect their work. Everyone in this world is very important. We should recognize their services and we need to maintain peace in the society. So this lesson which we are going to read today is what happened to the reptiles. This lesson which we are going to read today gives us a very beautiful message and it has a very deep meaning in it. So let's get started. So the name of the lesson is what happened to the reptiles. Reptiles means snakes, turtles, lizards. So this lesson is divided into three different parts. In today's video, I am going to take up part 1. Now here we'll read the main points which are given. Pumbupatti is a peaceful village inhabited by a variety of people. Prem, the narrator of the story, flees his village under unfortunate conditions to reach Pumbupatti by chance. An old resident of the village looks after him and tells him an interesting story. So these 3 points we are going to read in detail. You may not believe this story, but I can tell you it is true. Because I have been to Pumbupatti, a village on the edge of the jungle. It is on a cliff and the vast forest stretches below like a mossy green carpet. There are many kinds of people in the village, dark, fair, tall, short. They speak many languages. Some eat meat, some don't. Some pray in a small temple at the edge of the forest. Others pray in a mosque, some miles away. So here I refers to Prem. So Prem is narrating the story for us. And he says that you may not believe this story. He says that this story is unbelievable. But he says that it is a true story. And because I have been to Pumbupatti, a village on the edge of the jungle. So he says that he had been to that particular village. What is the name of the village? Pumbupatti village, and this village is located on the edge of the jungle and it is on a cliff. Cliff means a small hill. So this Pumbupatti village is located on a cliff, that is a small hill, and from there when you look down, the forest stretches like a green carpet, okay, mossy green carpet. And in that particular village, that is Pumbupatti village, there are many different kinds of people. So those people are how they are dark, how their features, they are fair, they are tall, they are short. And the people in that particular village, they speak many languages. Normally we think that village means only one language they speak, isn't it? But this particular village, that is Pumbupatti, in this particular village people speak many languages, and some people eat meat and some they don't eat, and some people they pray in temple and some pray in mosque. That means in this particular village, that is Pumbupatti, there are different religion people and people live in peace and harmony. Okay, my name is Prem and I live many hundred miles away from Pumbupatti. I had heard about the village, but I had never been there. Then last year, something terrible happened. The people of my own village went mad, far, far away in a place they have never even been to. A temple or mosque had been burned down, and they went mad. They started fighting with one another. Some had to run away in the middle of the night. And at 3 in the morning, as I lay in my house, half awake, to the sounds of hate and violence, there was a fire. Many houses were burned down in the fire. One of them was mine. So now here what happens is, my name is Prem. So Prem, here Prem is narrating the story, isn't it? So his name is Prem, and where does he live? He lives many hundred miles away from Pumbupatti village. Okay, so many miles away there he lives. Now it is the description of his particular village, how the people are in his village, that is given. And he heard about the people who live in Pumbupatti, but he did not go there. Okay, and then last year something terrible happened. The people of my own village. Now he says about the people in his own village, what happened to them? Why did they? Why they have gone mad? So it seems that the people in his village, they started fighting with each other, and it so happened that some people ran from their village in the middle of the night. Okay, and they are fighting and quarreling with each other. The people who are there in this Prem's village, that particular village, they are fighting with each other. And some people, they had to run away in the middle of the night. And at 3 in the morning, as this Prem was lying in his bed, he heard sounds of hate and violence. Hate and violence is they were arguing, they were fighting with each other, they had bloodshed. So all this, they were fighting, and they had lot of they were fighting with each other, and even they have set a fire to the houses in that particular village, and one of them was mine. So even Prem's house also has been burnt. Okay, I managed to grab few clothes, some coins, my little Ganesh statue, and I ran. I ran for a day and a night, resting whenever my legs would not carry me any further. So here I managed to grab. Grab refers to he takes up certain few things, few clothes he managed to take. Even though that his house was burning, he managed to take some clothes and some coins, means some money, and he had a little Ganesha statue. So that statue also he took along with him, and he started running day, one night. He started running, and when his legs started paining, then he took rest wherever it was. He took rest. I jumped onto a train, then on a bus. No ticket. Okay, so what did he do? If he found a train, that he had taken, then bus, and he did not take any tickets also. Never mind. Everyone, never mind. Everyone seemed to be running. Finally, I found myself in Pumbupatti, and I saw some villagers gathered near a well. I ran to them, and before I could say a thing, I fainted. So now here you can see the people of the village, that is where Prem is living, and how see Prem, he has taken a bag of clothes and his Ganesh idol, and you can see other people also running away from that particular village. So they flee away, they went away from that particular village, because there was a their houses were set on fire, and also the people were quarreling in the village. And finally he ran, and wherever he could, he got place, he sat. Okay, and he took rest, and then he continued. So finally he found himself in Pumbupatti village. Okay, and I saw some villages gathered near a well. So some village people, they gathered near the well, they were all near the well. I ran to them, and before I could say a thing, I fainted. So he wanted to express what has happened in his village to those people who have gathered near the well. He wanted to express to them, but meanwhile, what happened? He fainted. Fainted means he lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes, I saw an old man with white hair, white beard, and shining black eyes bending over me. For the next few days, he looked after me, putting food in my mouth and bringing me sweet, cold water from the stream. He rubbed my feet gently and made the pain go away. Neighbors, strangers, everyone came to visit me. So what happened when he went there? So finally when he had opened his eyes, whom he could see, children? Yes, he could see one old man. And how was he? That old man, he had white hair, white beard, but his um, eyes were black and they were shining. And he was bending over me. Bending means leaning over him. So what he was doing, he was looking after this Prem who had come, and he had taken lot of care. As his legs were paining, or as he had lot of pain in his legs, he rubbed his feet gently and he gave him food. He took lot of care. He provided shelter to him. He gave him cool water from the stream also. So, and neighbors came to see him how he was. So that much love and affection he got in that house where the old man was living. The old man, he took care of this Prem. Tell me, grandfather, I said to him one day, I have never seen people like the villagers here. In my village, people fight with those who pray to another god, but here this seems a very strange place. So what happened? Now he will ask that old man. So he refers to that old man. Prem refers to that old man as grandfather, and he says to him one day means after getting cured, then he says that I have never seen people like the villagers here. So he says that the people in your village, they are very loving, they are very affectionate. Okay, they take lot of care. Okay, they love each other. So that he says. And also he says, he tells about his people. He says that in my village, people people fight with each other. So why they fight? Because the others pray to another god. So it is about the religion. People fight with those who pray to another god. But here this seems a very strange place. So now he says that your village is very strange, and he says that in my village people fight with each other when they pray to another god. Okay, another god. Now here next one. Mm, Prem replied, Prem, replied the old man, I will tell you the story of Pumbupatti. You can take this story back to your village. Maybe it will heal some of its wounds and dry some of its sores. Now what he says is, Prem, the old man replies, Prem, now I'm going to tell you a story of Pumbupatti. So he wants to tell the story of that particular village, that is Pumbupatti. You can take this story back to your village. Means after listening to this particular story, you can tell this story to the people in your village. Maybe it will heal some of its wounds. Some of its wounds means when they hear this particular story, they will learn how to behave with each other, and they try to learn certain good things from this particular story. Oh, grandfather, I said anxiously, don't say that. What I have seen in my village makes me burn with shame. I never want to go back there. So now here he says that I feel very ashamed of my village. I don't want to go to my village because the people in my village, they always fight with each other. So I don't want to go to my village. This is what Prem says to grandfather. But that's exactly why you must go back, he said in a soft voice. I kept quiet. I did not want to argue with him, and I wanted to hear his story. So now, grandfather, what does he say, children? He says that exactly it is the time you have to go back to your story, and you have go back to your village, and you need to tell the people certain good things. So, and now here this Prem doesn't want to argue with the grandfather. So actually he doesn't want to go to his village. Isn't it, children? Why he doesn't want to go to his village? Because people there fight with each other because of religion and all that. So he doesn't want to go to his village. But he is very much interested to listen to the story which grandfather is saying. So he says, but that's exactly why you must go. So grandfather insisted that you have to go to your village. He said in a soft voice. I kept quiet. I did not want to argue with him. So he doesn't want to argue with grandfather. And I wanted to hear his story. So Prem wanted to hear the story which grandfather is telling. He's very much curious to know what is the story about. Okay. Is this clear, children? In our next video or in our next class, we'll come to know what is the story. Thank you, children.